today. Andrea Tanteros, host of The Independence on Fox Business Channel, Kennedy. Kirsten Powers also with us today, and today's hashtag One Lucky on a huge news day. Great to have you.
Day. Thanks for having me. Kirsten just said that our chemistry was electric.
It will be electric.
So I'm very excited.
This is the first time we've ever actually been on our
It's like
together.
sitting in between two wheels.
Wait, you two haven't been on together either.
We haven't. No, we may be electric.
Okay, do we have a generator in case all the power goes down from the energy?
So let's put your two brains together and discuss this terror plot. I mean, they're piling on now. And by the way, when the Iraqi prime minister was asked if this had been thwarted, he said no. So on the table, an imminent terror plot on the U.S. as well as Paris.
It's incredibly scary. It kind of feels like stable. And then he said that ISIS was just...
Administration has been on different pages when it comes to whether or not we could be attacked at home. Of course, we're hearing from the White House, no, not a big deal. We're hearing from the Department of Defense, yes, it could be imminent. Also, what you pointed out, it has been uncovered but not thwarted. And I know that the Iraqi government, not the most trustworthy bunch in the world, but why would they come out and say something like this?
Yeah.
And it makes me think Kirsten could be beheaded. So you have part of the British community saying, let's...
After ISIS was to make sure we went after the bad guys. We went after the terror, all of these other tangents.
So I want to, Kirsten, I know you're trying to jump in here.
They didn't talk specifically about these terror groups. They were more worried about some
known terror plots that are being reported. Go ahead, Kirsten.
Well, I just really am concerned. I was actually more serious.
Well,
terror.
and it's France and the United States, too, the two countries that are doing...
I have a differing opinion. I don't know that we're talking about oil fields.
Yeah, so this is a big story, and I think this matters, Sandra. And as you pointed out, follow the money. They're hitting them exactly in the wallet. $2 million a day they're making from this oil. Now, that's a small dent, because remember, they raided the bank in Mosul where they were able to garner $1 billion. But at least this can temporarily hamstring them, I think, if they continue these airstrikes. So at least there's some targets going after the money, which is what we've been talking about for
I would
weeks.
say it's a step in the right direction. Kennedy, I was talking...
Why is this administration bending over thanking Turkey when Turkey...
Because you need to win the peace afterwards. If you have no oil infrastructure afterwards, you're trying to rebuild this part of the country, and everyone's impoverished, how are you going to win the peace? Well, we always like to rebuild once we break everything down. And the taxpayers are probably going to pay for it.
Not nation building, Mr. Waters.
Well, I don't know if Obama's into that these days, but what I'm struck by is we're doing all this stuff, but Syria, military brass on a number of occasions. He ignored them in Iraq and didn't leave troops there. He ignored them when they wanted troops for the surge in Afghanistan. Well, he doesn't have a great track record being commander-in-chief. We saw what happened in Libya.
No coherent strategy, sort of to your point earlier, like, what is the plan
besides
here?
arming the rebels,
what is the
I
plan?
actually agree with you,
That's not a good strategy.
That's not a plan.
It's a terrible
That's a horrible plan, and you know, many of us have said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
These are not friends.
Right. Timing, and I think that if we took all of our capabilities and implemented them at one time and came in hard and fast, that would be more. That's more.
It is. More breaking news today. Attorney General Eric Holder is expected to announce this afternoon.
You mean when they had billy clubs outside the voting booth?
Really?
And then he let them off with nothing?
And there wasn't a single voter who complained?
Wait a second. No one complained? How did we know about the video?
Because there was
the guy holding the videotape complained.
I can answer that. I can tell you.
Okay. They're carrying polls. So you're okay with that?
Poll watchers with nightsticks?
Yeah.
No, you said who had the video.
Yeah. So
wow, that's really slimy.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, try picking that up.
Possible successors that have been mentioned, Massachusetts.
No, bring back Janet Reno for Janet Reno's dance
listen, we will treat the nominee fairly
continue talking about this
and with integrity.
I don't know who we're talking about.
She's saying that a lot of the Tea Party supporters that uphold the Constitution as the highest document in the land are smeared as radical.
Talking about a generation of people whose parents were divorced, and they don't want to repeat those mistakes because they see how deeply wounding it can be to a family, and you want to do it right. You want to marry for the right reasons, and it is much harder to do that in a bad economy.
I agree with you on women. So the old wisdom, why buy the cow? That's for another show.
Depicting defending our rights as
some sort of hostility. I'm not buying it. I think it's an anti-military bias.
I do too.
I don't believe the gun.
And by the way, it's anti-gun hysteria.
Yeah.
It so much takes away from
that shirt. Just thinking about it.
See, proves my point.
I know. And is that get away with that? But they can't wear a shirt with the National Guard on it. It's crazy. And the ironic thing is, heaven forbid, there's actually a school shooting at this school. Who are they going to call first? They're going to call the National Guard in to help protect connect and settle things
They're
down.
going to blame that student.
Yeah, right. Of course they will. I mean, you can't even go like this in a school.
No,
anymore.
but
It's
that's,
crazy.
I mean, that's what boys do. That's what they naturally do. Little
Right.
boys. But by the time they get into high school, if they're interested in testing, it will drive you crazy.
Yeah, but the
Common
greatest
Core
enemy
sucks. I'm called. Then the person at the front door should say, "Why doesn't your sorority sister take you back to the house and
clothes on and they weigh 100 pounds. Of course they're freezing and hungry. I don't care. I mean, I think Fox should hire these poor ice girls. They're out of work, our ice girls.
The Ice Boys, they just don't quite have the same charisma, do they?
Yeah, you know how cold
Among
it
other
is in
things.
this studio and how hungry I am right now? You don't see me complaining.
You know, I mean, I
do
have
look
to tell you, this
cold.
is one of the features of these games. I'm a Blackhawks fan. That we have similar ice dancers, shovelers, and it's just
Yes.
No one wants to see a hairy man on ice.
I don't mean to sound like a
They can wax
lover
their
of
chest.
technology, but
We don't.
we're in no trouble. I don't know if that's true anymore.
I was so close.
All right, well, it was
So
fun having you as
far.
our one lucky guy
Thank you
today.
for having me.
We're going to stay right here because we've got Outnumbered Overtime on the web, foxnews.com/outnumbered,
Oh,
and
boy.
click the Overtime tab. I like to call it Outnumbered Uncensored. We'll be right there, and we'll be right back here tomorrow at noon Eastern. Happening Now starts right now.